If I was asked, I'd ask every woman to at least give birth once.
At least once.
Yes.
Wow, I love the fact that they clap.
Thank you.
Because I know we are raising a generation of ladies who tend to think, no, I'm sorry, I don't want to miss all this. I just want to have my body. I just want my husband to look at me like this, so I'm not going to give birth. I don't want stretch marks and everything. What would you tell them?
I always say I respect that because we all come from different places. There's a reason someone doesn't want to have a child, probably because of trauma or what they went through as a child, or probably they are not ready. But if you can, at least once in your life, it will change the whole person in you. There's a lot of, it confirms a lot of femininity in you, and then it just changes you wholesomely, mentally, physically, and I don't know, it gives you so much respect and patience for people.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
What is it that you feel like you picked from your mom as a mother now?
I think being very supportive. My mom is very supportive. Well, she's still tiny. She's 1 year, 8 months now. But I think I can tell. I am very supportive. I'll be very supportive.
Nice.
Yes.
Are you a disciplinarian? You look very strict.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
At first, in Likuogopa, I was like, okay, she really a comedian. She looks very strict. Like,
what do you I get that a lot. Apana. By the way, ni muoga. People think, by the way, watu weusi wambiwa wanaweza fight. Everyone thinks that. Hata bouncer wengi ni weusi.
Well, I wouldn't relate. Hey, ice cream maneno.
Ushaona bouncer mweupe? Hakuna.
Come to think of it.
Hakuna.
But come to think of it, hakuna bouncer mweupe.
Yeah, so even with my friends, tukikuwa place na kukai kuna commotion, wanakuaga auntie atatuprotect wewe.
Have you ever fought?
No, I would not fight even for my dear life. I avoid places that I know people fight. That is why you also not find me in clubs, because I know maybe vita utokea. Mimi muoga sana. Hata mlevi ni muone anateveva side yangu.
You're out.
I'm out.
I would think maybe because of your height.
Yes, because of that also. And I also train hard at the gym. So people always assume, huyu anaweza nitandika vita.
Kumbe hawezi?
Mimi nika soft.
So hii gym ni nini?
Hii ni fitness na kukua healthy.
Yeah. Na kusumbua guys
kwa
gym.
Yeah.
Mazuri ngeko tunachanganikiwa.
Sisi tuko hapo for the gym.
I'm like, God, yeah. So because I was reading about you and of course listening to one of your clips when you hosted on Mother's Day by Parents Magazine.
Yes.
And you spoke deeply about something that I have gone through with my ex-wife in the past. And we lost a baby.
Sorry.
And I think it's part of the reasons why things started falling apart at that point.
Yeah.
And you spoke very passionately about it. And I don't know, have you healed? And if you have, how does somebody heal from that? Just for the ones who watch, how does somebody move from that ordeal?
I say healing is a process. It doesn't have an end goal or an end date. It's an everyday thing. Yeah. So I had a stillbirth at 34 weeks. It was so painful. It is pain that I'd never wished on any woman. I went for counseling. I took a break from work, that is social media and radio. And so I heal every day. There are days I get triggers. There are days I remember. There are days I imagine what that child would have been, where we would be right now. I have a friend who we were pregnant at the same time. So every time I see her with a child, I also see my baby. I think, wow, they'd be playmates right now.
At that time.
Yeah, so there is no end date for healing. I say it's an everyday process, but you have to work it from yourself. You have to be willing to move on, knowing that you can never replace that child, but probably reaching a point where you realize or you find out that your child served their purpose. Because mine did.
That's deep. That's deep. Still, whether they made it to exist fully, but they served a purpose in your life.
Yes, and they are lucky they didn't come to this bad government. Mine said,
I ain't coming there, Mama.
I ain't coming
I'm
there.
gonna meet you in heaven.
I ain't coming there. Yeah.
Let's talk about you and comedy.
Yes.
You at Gukena FM for almost around 7 years?
7 years, yeah.
7 years.
Yes.
Then you woke up one day and...
Not one day.
Hey.
Thought about it. I had a lot of soul searching, but it was time to hang my boots.
But 7 years was, I mean, those are very few years.
Yes, they are, but they're also a lot of years because I had reached a stagnation point. I felt like I was not growing as a brand on mainstream.
All right.
And it was also holding me back from doing a lot of things because I was doing the drive show.
Yeah.
So when you're doing drive as a comedian, you can't do a lot of mental work during the day.
True.
Because of your hautakuwa fresh kwa show.
Yes.
So nikaangalia
huku na huku
digital. Kaona
digital inajipa.
Yes. And then I also had a Sunday show, so that means I could not work on Saturdays. And Saturdays is also when I get MC
events and every year.
Yeah.
So